716 and Mike Sisk is at Mike number 2. Welcome back.
Hey, Dale, how's it going today?
Good.
Same here. Loving this weather, aren't you?
Yes.
Man, it's been good.
Wonderful.
This was a nice weekend.
Yeah, real nice.
Especially yesterday.
You rode your bike?
No, I hate to say no, I didn't. I was out doing some other things. It was warm. The wind wasn't blowing. There wasn't any rain. It was a nice day.
Nice day. So what's going on at Minute Mechanic?
Been busy. Been a lot of stuff. We had a lot of people getting ready to travel out of town for spring break, and I guess they're gone now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been busy. We had a couple of good weeks in a row up there. Real good.
Well, we got a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
First one, I hit the brakes. My car pulls left pretty hard. I also smell something hot. How about brake caliper?
I'd say you're right on the money, Dale. Typically, if you're going down the road and you hit the brakes and the car pulls to the left, the brake issue is going to be on the right front. And it could be something like a brake caliper. It could be a brake hose. Those brake hoses, the rubber hose.
No, I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, the inside of those can deteriorate, and they can make a little one-way valve. Fluid goes through, but it doesn't come back very fast. And it holds pressure on the brake pads. The brake pads are pushed against the brake rotor, and man, the friction there creates a tremendous amount of heat. And that's the smell that you get is the brake pads overheating. It could also be a caliper. A lot of times you're ahead in a situation like that to replace the brake caliper and the hose, and be done with it. But the problem most likely lies in the right front. If you're hitting the brake pedal and your car is pulling left when you hit the brakes, good chance it's going to be a caliper or a brake hose right front. And we do a lot of that stuff up at Minute Mechanic. You see it. As cars get older and they age, things like that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the calipers you'll change out a brake caliper and the inside of it's full of corrosion and trash and stuff from old brake fluid. And the hoses, they just deteriorate. That's just the nature of the beast after a while.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot about the brake hoses. I remember we worked on one like that and finally someone said, check that brake line.
Yep.
Why? It looks fine. Well, the inside may be.
Well, exactly. We've ran into that, I can remember back when first time I ever ran into something along those lines, and I thought it was a caliper, put a new caliper on it, went and test drove it, and it was the same thing. That would have been 20 years ago. I had the same issue, basically. Wound up, had to replace the rubber hose. So, the brake hoses are not that expensive for the most part,
Yeah.
You're ahead just to do the caliper and the hose and make sure you get it all at one time.
Yeah. Which do you prefer to pick up, manual or auto transmission?
Boy, it sounds like a loaded question, doesn't it? I got a 50-50 chance of being wrong here. Well, for myself, I like an automatic transmission.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely enough, with transmissions and the newer model trucks, the later pickup truck you look at, the chances of being able to find a manual transmission are getting to be slim and none.
Mm-hmm.
It's been, and I think I'm right about this, like on the General Motors 3/4 and 1 ton trucks, it's been a few years since they've even offered a manual for sale.
Really?
I believe that's correct.
Wow.
Because they landed with Allison. They have an Allison transmission backing those up. You could still find some half-ton General Motors trucks with a stick shift, but there's not many. And to be absolutely honest, I don't know if they even make one now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's something I'd have to look up on the internet and see about, but I really don't know that there's much left. You see some small cars come in up at Minute Mechanic with a stick shift transmission. Some sporty cars with a stick shift. But, man, automatic transmissions have really taken over in the last 5 to 10 years. And
I remember in a pickup truck to see an automatic transmission in the pickup truck was a rarity.
Yes, absolutely. You just didn't hardly find them. And
an automatic on a pickup truck?
Yep.
Normally it was 3 on the tree. Remember that?
Well, I sure do. My dad had an old Lord, what was it? I don't remember now. We had 3 on the tree,
Yeah.
and the linkage would bind up on that thing. You have to get out there and whack on it with a rock or a hammer. Away you'd go. We had 3 on the tree, and of course 4 speeds, and then we had 5s. And if you look at automatic transmissions now in the pickup trucks, we had a Dodge in the other day, a Ram they call them now. It had an 8-speed automatic.
Yeah.
And I know all of them are at least 6 speeds, and now we've got 8 speeds. And I think the automatics have been greatly improved in the last few years. I'm sure there are still people that have transmission issues. It's going to happen.
Sure.
But the manual transmissions, I'm afraid, especially in pickup trucks like we're talking about here, they may be going away.
You would think, take a Chevy 1-ton rear dual big engine that you used to have the granny low, second, third, and sometimes fourth with reverse. A bunch of shifting, but it gave you the extra power to pull something like a house off the foundation or something. Yeah.
Well, with the Chevrolet big trucks now, and we service a bunch of them. They all of them that we service have a Duramax diesel, and they have an Allison automatic.
Yep.
And the
That's
Allison
pretty good
is a 6-speed transmission with the option to manually shift it.
Ah.
But I cannot tell you, as I sit here thinking about it, the last time I saw a big heavy-duty GM truck with a stick shift transmission. It's always been Allison's.
Yeah.
And the same with the Fords, because we service a bunch of Fords for a contractor we have here in town. All of his trucks are 3/4 ton or 1 tons, and there's not a manual transmission in the bunch.
That's surprising. That is a surprise. Wow.
Now again, I'm not saying it's absolutely impossible to buy one. I just haven't seen one in forever.
Wow. So we don't even know if it's an option with Ford, General Motors, or
on the 3/4 and 1 tons. I would lean towards you're going to have an automatic. On a stick shift for a half ton, if you work really hard, you might be able to get one. But you just don't hardly see an automatic, a stick shift transmission, a manually shifted transmission, in these trucks anymore.
Interesting.
Yep, and very few in cars. I mean, they have really dried up. And, like we were talking, when I first started working on cars and all, a stick shift transmission was just as common as it could be.
My 64 Plymouth was 3 on the tree with a slant 6.
Yeah, they were very, very common stuff.
Sure.
And over the years, people got tired of it. It's the same way with crank-up windows and manual door locks. You've got to look pretty hard to find a vehicle that's equipped like that anymore.
And I remember when we first set at our 65 Chrysler at the dealership, here's this beautiful blue car. Well, how you roll the window down? Oh,
no cranks anywhere. We're trapped. But yeah,
well, that battery don't go dead. Remember that?
Yeah, things have changed a bunch in the automotive industry. We all want more convenience and more luxury. What we used to now, what is standard equipment? When you and I were growing up, that was a luxury item. It
was.
Air conditioning is standard equipment. With electronic windows, electronic seats, all these things, and back then that was a luxury item, and some of it wasn't even available on the cars my mom and dad and I rode around in. You had to upgrade into the big Buicks or a Cadillac or something, and now it's across the board.
The big thing used to be, we got a new car, and the radio picks up WLS in Chicago.
Yeah.
Remember when they were the big rock station?
Yeah. WLS. Every once in a while, if I could tune my radio at home just right, I could listen to WLS. I believe it was Wolfman Jack and some of them guys up there. Yep. Sure did.
Yep.
But again, the cars have changed greatly, and the electronic equipment inside of one is amazing. But good luck with that manual transmission. If I'm wrong, I hope somebody calls up and says, "Hey, I've got a brand new Chevy, Ford, Dodge that's a manual." And they may very well, but I just don't see them at Minute Mechanic.
Off the subject of trucks, what do you think of a Dodge Hellcat?
Ooh.
They're 6 months behind in production right now.
Yep.
They have stopped taking orders on the Hellcat.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know, Dodge Challenger Charger have combined to make a Dodge Hellcat. 704 horsepower.
Yeah. It's a Dodge Challenger, and they have taken a 6.2 liter Hemi engine, and they put a supercharger on it, and they have tuned on it, and it's over 700 horsepower in a rear wheel drive car. You know, getting that thing to launch would be a challenge without putting the tires up in smoke. But it's got to be a blast to drive. I've watched.
The what liter? 6 what?
6.2.
So is that a 426?
No. It's a 426 would be about a 7 liter. 6.2 might be 383, 392, something like that.
Okay.
But I watched the thing at one of the drag race at a NHRA drag race last year when the Hellcat was just coming out, and one of those guys from Fast and Loud, not the guy with the big beard that does all the work, it's the one that talks all the time. He did a run in a Hellcat down the quarter mile. And the only thing they had done is they changed the tires and put drag radials. They were like slicks, I guess, on the back of it. And that thing ran a 10.8 something quarter of a mile. And this is a factory car at about 125 or 30 miles an hour. How fast is that? People get to talking about how fast the old muscle cars were from the 70s. These things are ridiculous that they're driving anymore. And I have read the same thing. They can't build them fast enough.
Yeah, it's somewhere around 392.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got a guy that comes in the shop. We service a couple of Challengers, a couple of years old. They're all the 5.7 liter. We got one 392 Hemi that comes in. And
see, that's my original.
Yeah, and those things are ridiculously fast cars. Well, they decided that wasn't enough, so now they're over 700 horsepower with a supercharger. I don't know what the insurance would cost on that. But you can be rest assured it'll be a lot.
It'd be a lot.
And boy, it'd be fun to drive, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would be. Bennett Mechanics open this week, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and here to serve you for all your maintenance needs.
We're there all week long. We've got we got plenty of time to get you in, do anything you need. Give us a shout. We'll schedule you in and get it done.
Bennett Mechanics located Highway 201 North across from Salvation Army. Give Mike and the gang a call at 425-3135. All major brands of motor oil in stock.
Absolutely. You name it, we've got it.
High-quality filters.
Yeah, high-quality filters. We have got AMSOIL, AMSOIL, Mobil One, and Castrol Syntec synthetic oils, and now we're carrying a couple of different Pennzoil synthetics.
Good.
So we've got 5 different lines of synthetic motor oil available, and we can get if it's not what you want, we can get what you want.
You bet. Give Mike a call, 425-3135. Mike and gang are there 8 to 5 Monday through Friday this week. Time for the news. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the program, everyone. I want to welcome to the studio Mr. Craig Harness of Harness Mattress Company in Harrison, Arkansas. Welcome. It's good to have you on Mountain Talk.
Well, good to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit. Jerry was telling me before he came in the studio, you have custom-built mattresses available direct to the public. I'm going to back off the mic and let you tell folks about this.
Well, that's right. We've been doing this since 1956. I'm about third generation. My father actually started the business in 56. And my grandfather and great uncle were his first employees. But we've been doing the manufacturing and selling direct to the public ever since. And what's unique is that we actually do manufacture the mattresses and box springs right in Harrison, Arkansas. Many places may advertise factory direct, but in reality they're just outlets for a factory, and they've got all the overhead and expenses of a regular retailer. But we actually manufacture there on the premises. In fact, you can come into our showroom and go another 20 or 30 steps beyond the showroom, and you can be right in the manufacturing area. We make all the conventional sizes, anything from twin size to king size, so that would include twin, full, queen, and king. But we also do some unusual dimensions on requests, such as twin extra long, full size extra long, California kings, short queens, which you see in RVs a lot nowadays. But even in addition to that, we do a lot of work for like antique beds or special project beds. And we've got even a pretty good following with regard to sleeper bunks in 18-wheelers, so we do truck mattresses also. Manufacturing mattresses and box springs from scratch is what we do mainly, but we also have a rebuilding service in which you can bring your mattress in, and if the internal spring is still good, we can take it apart and rebuild it, and many times it's better than it was when it's new, simply because we're using better quality materials. One of the, I guess, the Achilles heels with mattress manufacturing is the foam rubber. Nowadays, foam is one of the primary padding components used in mattresses. It used to be cotton, but because of federal laws and so forth, that's been changed. But many people do not realize that foam comes in all varieties and different grades and so forth. And normally, when we see a mattress broken down, it's not the internal spring like so many people think, but it's rather low quality padding in the foam rubber. Particularly, I would say perhaps of every 100 mattresses that we see that need remanufactured, the problem probably 85% of the time is the padding, and especially the foam rubber. Rarely is it the internal spring that's broken.
Now, you said you went into a foam rubber rather than cotton. Why no cotton?
Well, many years ago, the federal government came out with what we called in the industry, we called it the cigarette flammability laws. But in essence, it was that you had to use materials that if someone was smoking in bed and dropped a cigarette on the bed, it wouldn't flame. And that stayed in place for many years. And then they went from there on up to a more stringent rule in 2007, in which they had to be built in such a way that you can put a torch up to the mattress, and for quite a while it won't flame. It'll just blacken. Yeah. Go ahead.
Craig, you said refurbishing your mattress. I hadn't even thought of this. It's such a disposable society now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, people have those old springs. I mean, is that the way to go there?
Yeah, about the only thing that goes wrong with a spring, occasionally they'll break, but more often than not, when they do break down, it's just metal fatigue and they're getting softer. But even a low-grade, cheap mattress, internal spring is usually still pretty good. Metal fatigue does not really set in, and this is from experience, and it would vary, but 20 years, I'd say if your mattress is 20, 25 years old, it might need looked at closely to make sure metal fatigue wasn't a factor. But if it's younger than that, it's almost always the padding that is given up, not the spring itself. And that's something you really can't judge when you buy a mattress unless the salesperson actually knows more about it than most. It looks good, it feels good, you take it home, it sleeps well for a year or two, and then in third, fourth, fifth year you start noticing problems. Well, then usually it's too late anyway, but it's because the padding is breaking down, and the consumer is just kind of at the mercy of the salesperson. Many of the salespeople do not even know the difference in like the component, the foam rubber component. That's something that I don't know that I've ever met just a retail salesperson that knew a whole lot about some of those details. But our salespeople are the same people that are building the mattresses, so they have inside lane on a lot of that information.
Jerry, that's a pretty good setup.
That is awesome, man.
You go to Harness Mattress in Harrison, they're going to start to finish.
That's pretty amazing.
Age group wise, so you get a young married couple in there. Do they need a different style of mattress than somebody's been married 40, 50 years?
Well,
because of age differences?
Yeah,
and
I find some commonality between certain demographics, but for example, if it's a woman looking for something, or even her daughter, they'll usually lean a little more towards a softer mattress. But that's not a hard and fast rule. It's kind of like some of us like Fords, some of us like Chevys. It's just a matter of taste.
Some of us like Chrysler. You got that third party.
Yeah. So and that's why we now carry so many different styles. We carry as many as 13 styles in the different sizes. The taste of the consumer has changed quite a bit. When I first started with my father, we had 2 styles, and that seemed to meet everybody's needs. But it's just the populace has changed.
I want to throw something out way out in left field. What if I go to my chiropractor and he says, Dale, you need a certain mattress that would have this, this, this. In other words, you need more firmness in the hip and leg area and less in the shoulder neck. Can that be accomplished?
Yes, actually it can be, and we've even done a his and hers mattress.
Really?
Yeah, like a king size. The man wants it really hard, and the wife's not too thrilled about that. Well, we can make his half harder than hers. It's actually easier to make a mattress firmer than it is to go from a reasonably soft mattress to even softer. We've got limitations as to how far we can go on the softness side, but on the hardness side, now we can go all the way to floor firmness nearly there. But I'm not saying that's what we do. But if
mattress with a concrete slab here.
Yeah, if they get much harder, you just need to pour it.
Well, I'm amazed that in Harrison, Arkansas, we've got something of such quality. Yeah, people can just come in and say, "This is what I need," and you'll make it for them.
Yes, but I'm glad you bring that up. A lot of folks think because we are a manufacturer that they have to place an order and wait on it. If it's I'd say 99% of the people between those 13 styles, we've got something that's going to please them, and we keep all those made up, and we've got one warehouse just dedicated to finished product, so there's a real good chance they can have it that same day. If it is something that we have to custom make, we're even pretty quick at that, but we need 3 or 4 days at least to do that. So
that's good turnaround.
Oh, we have fast turnaround, yeah. Unless it's something just really off the wall. We usually ask for a week, but we normally don't need it. There was another point I was wanting to make. It just slipped my mind.
I hate when I do that.
I'll mention some of the types we have. We have the conventional inner spring mattress that you can flip. You can sleep on both sides. And we've noticed people are moving more towards that, and that used to be the norm, but the pillow tops came into the market and were the going rage for a few years, and most of those are built just one-sided, so you can't flip them. You can turn them end to end, but you can't flip them. But even if that's what you want, we have those, but the conventional flippable mattress is sometimes even a little hard to find, and we have that. In addition, we have the popular, we call it memory foam. There's a brand name or two, but memory foam is what we call it, which conforms to your body. We make 2 styles of that. We make one that's a pocket coil mattress, which is one of my favorite. It's got individually pocketed coils that adjust in contour to the body. It was made popular by a well-known national manufacturer many years ago, but no one was building it. But I guess the patent ran out, so now we can get that kind of spring also. In fact, that's what my wife and I sleep on. Let's see, what other kinds might there be? Polyurethane, which is just your normal foam rubber, which makes an excellent mattress, and we build it in that high-grade foam so you don't have body impressions, but that's also available.
We're starting running a little bit close on time. We've got about 2.5 minutes before we have to end this section. How's your prices compared to just the standard retail market?
Well, we advertise about anywhere from 40 to 60% savings if you're comparing apples to apples. Now, as you get down in the more economy, really low price mattresses, there wouldn't be as much savings because we just don't have as much margin to play with. But if you're talking about the high-end stuff, like I had mentioned the memory foam, those things can cost a few $1,000s. Well, you can get a king size from us for just a little over $1,000. So That's easy, a 60% savings. I've heard some outrageous prices, so I just really don't know how to nail it down, but it's significant. I'll say that.
Tell us about your location and phone number for those who want to visit Harness Mattress.
Well, we're located in Harrison, Arkansas. We're on the 6265 bypass, which is also the 412, it's called now, merges with it. We are, if you're coming from the north going south, there's a stoplight in front of Taco Bell. Mm-hmm. We're 9/10 of a mile south of that stoplight down this bypass. If you're coming from the other direction, going north, there's a stoplight in front of one of the feed stores. Go 6/10 of a mile and turn left. We're behind Collier's Napa Parts Auto Store. We're about 100 yards off the bypass in a bright blue building. Now, we have several other buildings, but you can't see those. We're there 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 until 2 on Saturdays. We're in the or on the internet at harnessmattress.com, and you can find us in most all the area phone books.
Phone number 870-741. Is that 5656?
It is.
I don't have my glasses on. 800-264-1656. I'm impressed.
That's amazing.
Let me turn your mic on. Say that again.
That is amazing.
It is.
Makes me
right in Harrison, Arkansas.
I know. They'll build it how you want it, any size. You can't.
Family-owned business since 1955?
56.
Since 1956. Can you imagine?
In fact, we came across a mattress last week we built in 1957. We've got it on display there at the factory now.
They got some cool old tools out there, too, man.
Well, what I appreciate, more than likely, it's made with care in Harrison, Arkansas.
Yeah, and made right.
And made right.
You know what's inside of it. So.
Yeah. All right, that brings us up to the Sean Hannity Daily Update. We'll be right back. 7:54 on a beautiful Monday morning. I believe we've got 42 degrees outside. Real quick, we got a few things to let you know about. First of all, the 6th Annual Salem High School Beta Club Bass Tournament is scheduled for this Saturday, March 28th. Takeoff and weigh-in are out of Panther Bay and Lake Norfolk. Registration is open now by calling 870-895-5921. You may also register on the day of the tournament between 6 and 7:30 a.m. Cost is $80 per boat. First place receives $1,000, second place $600, and third place receives $300. Big Bass will be awarded $200. Many prizes have been donated to be given away after the tournament. Come out and support the Salem High School Beta Club. Once again, that phone number, 870-895-5921. And I believe we've got a fish fry coming up at one of the fire departments. Get my papers all in line here. Clark Ridge Volunteer Fire Department will hold a fish fry on March 28th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. It's at the main fire station at 12101 Highway 201 North. Of course, I have the catfish, hush puppies, coleslaw, all the fixings, $8 for adults and $4 children under 12. Quick reminder, now that we've got spring break is here, kids are off and looking for things to do. Don't forget about Arkansas State Parks. Perhaps you like to do some hiking or just to drive through the parks. Go to arkansasstateparks.com. I've got it pulled up right here. You'll enjoy all the beautiful pictures, and they've got the parks, camping, cabins, lodges, groups, trails, things to do, events calendar. Who knows what may be going on in one of the state parks right here in our own backyard. Arkansas State Parks. Check them out online. And a lot of the state parks are within, an hour, maybe 2 hours. You leave at 10 o'clock, get there at noon, a nice picnic. Leave at 3, you're home by supper time. And it's great for retired couples just to take a daily trip, on a beautiful day like today. Enjoy your Arkansas State Parks, but check it out online, arkansasstateparks.com. And that pretty well wraps it up. Don't forget, Minute Mechanics open this week, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 for all your maintenance service needs. So give him a call, 425-3135. Thanks to Mike for being here today. That wraps it up. It's time for the Rush Morning Update, followed by Glenn Beck. We'll see you tomorrow.